First of all, guys, thank you very, very much to be here, for being here. It's Monday and it's lunchtime and you made it. I'm truly, truly grateful to have such a packed room. Today we have a beautiful lunch with fantastic people and we're going to talk about influencers. Influencers, primarily B2C, but also B2B influencers with focus on mainland China. We have a fantastic panel. First of all, let's start with that row. We have Josh. Josh is a founder of a digital agency. He's a TEDx speaker. He's been writing for hundreds, maybe dozens of publications, but definitely hundreds or even thousands of pieces of content. He's fantastic with media relations, and he actually owns the Influencer Institute. So he helps busy executives to become thought leaders in their industries themselves. Then we have Susie. Susie is a blogger, a Chinese social media blogger herself. She does traveling blog. You can see some of her work here on the screen behind. She is a traveling blogger. She's a part of GoPro family. And she also runs her retail business in mainland China. So it's extremely, extremely fun to learn from Susie. And of course, we have Ansheles. I've got no idea how to pronounce his stage name. Ansheles, his stage name. But his real name is actually Artem, and look at this, this is like half a panel is Russian. We were both born in Russia. No, it's, yeah, we were both born in Russia, but somehow found our way to Hong Kong. The difference is I speak Mandarin, he speaks fantastic Cantonese. It's outstanding. Outstanding Cantonese, and he's basically a TV personality here in Hong Kong that some of you might know. He's also a vlogger and a very, very popular person here, so we're very grateful to have his special guest here. And there's myself, so I'm Ashley. Many of you are my friends and LinkedIn also network, so I'm really grateful to see you guys here in person. Let me walk you through the event flow. Firstly, I'm going to ask these guys a couple of cool questions. Secondly, you're going to ask these guys and myself a couple of really cool questions. Then we're going to have lucky draw, which is you have this beautiful leaflets right here, and there are 5 questions that you can answer. The questions are on both sides. So you fill it in, and basically you submit it to my colleagues. There will be lucky draw. What is the lucky draw all about? You can win a copy of the book, which is going to be signed. And what book are we talking about? It is my latest book. It's on Amazon. It's called Working with Influencers, KOLs, and Bloggers in China. Yes. Woo! Thank you so much. Oh, it feels good. Thank you, guys. I started getting nervous. Awesome, awesome. So if you're ready for this, we are going to jump right to it, and I'm going to ask the questions. First of all, Josh, you are the influencer. Literally, influencer marketer, influencer professional. What is influence to you?
So really, I'm not so much an influencer as I'm a guide to influencers. And by the way, I'm just noticing I'm up here with these 3 beautiful people, and I feel a little bit out of my element here. But they say that when you move into a new neighborhood, you should buy the smallest house in that neighborhood because then it will appreciate in value. So hopefully my looks get better and better as we sit here today and I get to associate with these people. But yeah, in terms, so what is influence? That's the question, right?
Right.
So all of us are influencers. We all influence other people to varying degrees. And now there are influential people and there are highly influential people. And I've made it my business to study highly influential people and what they do. And highly influential people are people who make an impact, people who make a difference such that people remember them. And people look back and say, that person, what they wrote, what they said, what they did, their example, somehow impacted them, and people remember that. That's what highly influential people do.
And Ansheles, can you tell us your story? How did you become a highly influential person in Hong Kong?
No, I wouldn't say I'm highly influential. I'm okay. I'm aiming to go there, but not yet where I want to be. But I actually came to Hong Kong 5 years ago, and I never thought that I'm going to be doing what I do today. Originally, I came here to study, and then I realized that it's actually a great place to build whatever you want to build or whatever you want to do, because it's like right in the middle of everything, and there's so many different companies here, and it's just overflowing with businesses and ideas and opportunities, you know. And originally I came here to study design and maybe work in a design field, but ended up getting into modeling somehow, and then from there I ended up actually getting on TV, and now I'm mostly working on TV, and sometimes on the side just do maybe videos, blogging, social media stuff like
Well,
that.
on the side with like 250,000 fans, you know, just on the side, a couple of videos here and there. Well done. Susie, what's your story? Susie has a huge followership in China on Weibo and Bilibili.
Yes, I started to blog. I would say I started to post pictures and photos almost 2 years ago. But also like Artem, I was honestly not intentionally to be a blogger at first. I just post my photos about my journal because that time I was very falling in love with this kind of way to record my life. That is to use illustrations, the photos, and also very beautiful things to record your daily life and your trips. And from that time, more and more people are got interested in my journal and start to repost my things. I think, oh, the people are start to interested in this, and so I continue to doing this. And sometimes I will add more about more things about my life. So I gradually noticed that the girls who follow me not only like my journal, but also like the style of my lifestyle, like the way I live in Hong Kong, like because I also come from Shanghai. I'm not originally born in Hong Kong, so I live here alone after my graduation. So I think they like the way I live, and I start to post more things about myself. And this is how I gradually grow my followers on Weibo and Bilibili.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Josh, Josh also is coming from Shenzhen today just to be with us at this panel. So you've been living in Shenzhen for a while, and actually through his company, he's working with Chinese companies that want to get PR attention, you know, in the West, and also Western companies that want to get attention in mainland China, right? Do you see differences between working with, let's say, PR and angle and communication in the West and in mainland China?
There are differences. I mean, there are the logical differences like language, obviously, and there's some cultural differences about the way that people go about pitching the media. But mostly, the core things are the same. With public relations, it's all about relationships, and that holds true in China as well as in the US and Europe and anywhere else around the world. That it really is about who you know and the connections and the relationships that you've made. And if there's anything that I see that's a little bit different with the consumer mindset, I mean the consumer of people who are trying to get publicity in China, is that they think it's more transactional than it really is, when the reality is it really takes a lot of relationship building to get those pieces published.
Yeah, so many of you are marketing managers, and many of you know that in China, when you actually get you know, publicity, when you want to get publicity for your brand or for your new product launch, you can pay them, right? Which is called 交通费, which is transportation fee, right? And that is that's I think what you are referring to. Yeah, in the West, nobody will wake up in the middle of the night and say, okay, let me pay that reporter. That would be illegal and against their code. In mainland China, a lot of media actually requires that, but it does not mean that relationships are meaningless, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. For all the talk of Guangxi in China, Chinese culture, business-wise, is actually very transactional in some cases.